It's Mark Husson's Astrology Hour. Time for you to expect something wonderful.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Mark Husson. This is Mark Husson's Astrology Hour coming to you live at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. How you doing? I didn't get to see a preliminary. There's that microphone in my face. Oh, there we go. That's better. I didn't get to see like a preliminary how things are looking on the background, so it was a little rushed to get together. But here I am in my big sun shirt. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for being a part of me today and part of the show. I want to be able to, so let's see. There we go. I want to make sure that the settings are good. There we go. There we go. There we go. So if I'm blaring or if anything's really weird about the sound, just let me know, because I've got some new, I had to rewire the setup yesterday, and it's always a little unnerving to go live without really knowing. There we go. Okay. So let me check on you guys. How are you? Thanks so much for being a part of the show. I mean that. It's so fun to have you here. And I have a room full of people. Let me shout out to you guys. So when you see me looking away from the camera, I'm looking at my screens where I can magnify you and actually see you. So we have Terry Campbell in the house. Hi, Terry. Truly good to see you. Thank you. Anne's in the house. Hi, Anne. Thank you so much. Yeah, the backyard is fun to have as a little scene. It is fun for me too. I really do appreciate so much. I walked today until I could get that experience of gratitude happening, and boy, it came. So I was really grateful. Thank you for appreciating it. Hi, Maureen. Good to see you. Lenny's in the house and may have to go. Lenny, always friends first, baby. Jean, thanks for coming. Happy Lionsgate. Oh, you know what? I so don't pay attention to Lionsgate, and I should, and I'm really sorry. It is important to a lot of people. It's been off my radar for so many years that if somebody doesn't tell me, Mark, it's Lionsgate, I would never know. But thank you. Hi, Arlene. Shelly, thanks for being here. Gypsy Cavern, I think that's Karen. And Carla and Erica Longden. Erica, your show was so good. Love the vacuum cleaner idea. No longer a weapon of power. I know. Mars is leaving Virgo. You guys don't get to use that vacuum cleaner to hurt anybody by accident, of course. But thank you. Erica, great show, by the way. Lionsgate followed by the full moon. Yay. You guys are so, I appreciate it. And I'm really I have to do more due diligence on the Lionsgate idea. So I know other shows are going to be talking about it, and I want you all to, know that I respect it. I just haven't given it a lot of attention because there's so many other things for me, and they keep showing up. And I know that it's a powerful aspect, and it has to do with the point of the star, right? A North Star. You'll have to tell me. You'll have to explain it to me. That's how bad I am removed from the Lionsgate concept. Terrible. I know. Terrible. So, but today is not luckily, but it is a Sag moon all day. And I say luckily because we have some serious big void of course moons happening. And I have noticed that I'm not hating them as much when they're really long. I don't know. We'll see what that means. But I do think that, and I'll talk to you a little bit about, so those of you who are new to the room and to the show, what it means when we say words like void of course. What the hell is that? Thanks, Carla. I know I keep changing it up. I get new lighting and I try this, and I have friends ask me, that painting is Michelle Green's. Michelle and Keith lost their little fur baby today, their bird Marley. It's devastating for them, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge them, because this bird, and if you've ever had a bird, you understand the depth of love they bring. It's insane. And birds I had a bird, and it just, God, they're amazing. And so this bird has been the center of their family unit for many years. And Marley passed yesterday. it just is so, it brings, you know what it's like when, you know what it's like. Almost everybody here has lost a beloved, either animal or even a person, but the animals have a special place because they communicate in such a different way. So that was really hard, but that's Michelle's painting. She has Michelle Green. You have to check her out. Please. Her artwork is to die for. It's kind of extraordinary. And Marley was a big inspiration for a lot of that. So my heart goes out to them. I know you all do too. I know everybody knows someone who's experienced that kind of loss. If you haven't done it directly, the pain just gets more of an echo, but never really goes away. So yeah, the worst part of life, right? So it's a Sag moon today, and Sag moons basically bring fire. And this is such an interesting chart day. I'm going to explain this. I want to show you the charts. Let me get over to the big monitor here and see if I can do this with any sort of integrity. And oh, look at that. Hold on just a second. Let me just upload big monitor. Okay, get me back here. Hold on just a second, you guys. Big monitor. And then double click. And then I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to change it. Give me a sec, though. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. There it is. There it is. We'll restart. There we go. Thank you. All right. I live on YouTube to upload things, and they have me pegged in so many different ways because I do the gaming and I do the astrology. And so my YouTube screen is always up, and I'm always captivated. I always like follow little rabbit trails of like, why is that on my screen? So this is today. Wait a minute. Let me make sure. Yes, this is today. And this is the Sag moon down here. So this is, here we have the moon. And if you look to see what I do when I do these kind of charts, I look to see what kind of elements are in the air. So if you'll notice, we have the Sun and Mercury in Leo. We have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And we have the moon in Sag. We have a grand trine in fire. We have Chiron in Aries too. So we have a grand trine in fire. So this energy for fire signs is pretty amazing, but we all get to tap into this magic. Now, what's really interesting about, let me see if I can get the chart and me at the same time. Almost. There's some turkeys. Look, you guys, that's what they look like. Let me get, hang on one second. Check this out. They are gigantic. Look at that. I mean, those are the small ones. And I think those even might be her kids, but here they come. So those are the Turks. I'm glad you got to see the turkeys. Okay. All right. So here's the double. This should be the dual chart. I'll turn this camera off. There we go. And then let me do small me. I am so grateful that it's you guys that are here. Okay, here we go. So when I do this, when I look at a chart like this today, I'm looking at the elements, first of all, and there's fire. There's big old fire in the house. That means that all of us have access to manifestation through inspiration, okay? So I want you to think about this. The Sag moon gives us hope. And it touches that part. Every Sag knows this energy that they sit on Mount Olympus. Good. Truly's returning the car she purchased under the void of course moon. Oh Lord, I know those void of course moons. Girl, we're going to I'm glad you get to return it. I'm sure that was a headache. Oh, okay. We'll talk about that for sure. So under these fiery moons, when it connects in this sort of triangular way, we get all of the fire elements working together to support us. So we have Aries, Leo, and Sag. That means that basically, if you have something that you really want, if you need to be inspired by something, use this energy. And it's not only to be inspired, it's to give inspiration. So if you are a Sag, an Aries, or a Leo, this is a beautiful day for you to use this to manifest, to get excited, and I think about creating a spark inside of you. And it is really powerful manifestation energy. And we're going to talk about why because we have some other things to look at. But let me just say, if you're an air sign, if you're a Libra, a Gemini, and a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, you are kind of dealing with the same thing in a different way, because we have Uranus here in Gemini at 1, we have Pluto here in Aquarius at 2, and we're going to have Mars in Libra at 1, and there's going to be your grand trine. So the air and fire signs are dealing with a grand trine in the next day, like right now. Grand trines. And a grand trine is a triangle. It's basically saying you have access to every single sign that contains the element of mutable, fixed, and cardinal. Every one of those energies is available to you. Now, you don't have to be an air sign to take advantage of it. You don't have to be a fire sign to take advantage of it. Water, you've got Jupiter and Venus here doing their dance together. Venus is aiming toward Jupiter. So you guys have this lovely emotional energy that you can use to rise above any sort of getting lost too deeply into feelings. You can use that fire and that water and that air to pull you up and then manifest out that emotional energy. So if you're using, like, if you need to convince somebody of something, if you need to use that watery nature of Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancers have, this is your days to do it. These next 2 days, today, tomorrow, the day after, all week. Honestly, I'll go over some of the specifics, but manifestation is huge. Okay, this is a big one. So the last thing, and one of the most important. Wait a minute. You know what I need to do? I lost my there it is. I lost my YouTube studio. There it is. Okay, so I can see you guys. Hi, Mindy. Welcome. Sheila, animals can be better than people. You think? Wink, wink. I hear you. Returning the car I purchased on the Void of Course Moon, and they are just wild turkeys that visit you. Yes, those are like those turkeys. That's like 5. Now, there's like 75, 85, 95, 100, hundreds of turkeys in the area. And those guys get chased by the dogs. So they are the brave ones. So I like when the dogs have such a joy chasing them. But I'll turn the camera on periodically to keep an eye out for you. So you don't have to be an element of this. Now we got to talk about Earth, because this is a big deal for you Earth signs. So let me review. Fire, Leo. Okay, so Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Fire. I mean, that's fall fire. Air is Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Water, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Who does that leave? Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. You guys have one planet representing you right now. Only one. And that is good old Mars in Virgo. And yes, we might have to keep those. We might have to keep seeing the. Hold on just a second. The vacuum cleaner. I'm moving these screens around. We might have to see you put away your vacuum cleaners, and in lieu of being the only thing that grounds us. Okay, so I want you to think about that. If you're a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn, you're represented by one planet in the sky right now. The rest of us get a few, okay? But you're represented by one planet, and it's going to leave in a couple of days and go into Libra. Mars goes into Libra on Wednesday at about 4:23 in the evening, Pacific time. And that's it for any Earth representation. Now, when there's no Earth, we end up compensating to get that Earth, okay? Those of us that don't have a lot of Earth to deal with, we start doing things like obsessing about diet. Think about it. We start thinking about obsessing about things that bring us a certain kind of strength. We obsess about things that remind us that we're physical. It might be that couch. It might be that carpet. It might be our bodies. It might be our diet. It might be money. The material world has a new magnification for it because we don't have any representation of it. So we have to make it up. We need something to ground. Earth signs come into play with that, okay? What happens is earth signs become our ground. They become the source of where we get, there's birds in the bird bath, but I don't have the camera aimed over there. I have the camera aimed at the turkey yard, which they're gone, by the way. So earth signs are where we're going to start turning to anchor in. And earth signs, you guys are born with it. You have a way to anchor in. You have a way to ground. You may not know it so much as you're about to find out how much you are grounded and how much you use your earth, because it's a part of you. But when you don't have, like when earth leaves the consciousness, you start noticing you don't know what you have till it's gone, right? So as Mars leaves, the rest of us who don't have a lot of earth in our chart are going to be like, okay, I better start saving. I better start exercising. I better start becoming obsessed about my body. We'll create a sort of like facade of earth to keep us grounded. And if you have an earthy friend, if you have a Virgo, if you have a Taurus or a Capricorn friend, there's a good chance you're going to lean into them for that sort of sense. And you may not even notice that you're doing it. You might not even realize how much you're kind of like, oh, it's good to see you. You're keeping me grounded. You may not know that you're doing that. So I want you to pay attention to that, because as Mars leaves Virgo, it gets to that 29 degree and then poof, it goes into Libra Wednesday. That means we're without any earth unless the moon goes into an earth sign. So I want you to have that bit of information to keep in mind. And I'll be talking about that through the week on my astrology moments, which I'm putting up. And what you might notice sometimes, like today, there was a couple of, like, I might say, like, thanks for visiting Sunday. And it's just me doing those 50 takes on one and then having done like 3 in a row and then getting lost on what day it is part of it. It's terrible. But if you notice one of those, please excuse me. I'll get better at it. If my day gets interrupted with news that somebody else needs support, for example, or there's just, we get company, or, it's a bread baking day, I won't, if my schedule for any reason, or the internet goes out, which happened, oh my gosh, so many things happened that were very mercurial, like they're very Mercury retrograde related. But I want you to notice something. I don't sit there and go, it's Mercury retrograde, except to, make note, because these things, my Wi-Fi goes out a lot, even when it's not a retrograde. And I do love blaming Mercury, make no mistake about it. But it's fun to notice that it's a mercurial thing. It has to do with communication, or it has to do with this, or it has to do with maybe it's just Mars being in Virgo. But if there's any chaos that ensues in my life in the middle of making those and I can't complete them, then I might mess them up, is the point. And I have a ball doing those, and I want to be in a good space when I do them. And I want you to know, I do like 600 takes. I don't read anything, right? I'm not like, it might look like my eyes are darting or reading something. I'm not. Here, I might read something to you guys that I have. But for the most part, when I do my minute astrology things, the 3 minutes, I'm free associating. And I'm really in touch with what I'm saying. And it's really easy for me because I've been doing this for so long. But every once in a while, I might be on my 12th take, because, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. And that's just me getting tired and not wanting to admit it, or not wanting to, like, I want to finish that one. So anyway, if you see a couple of those faux pas, forgive me. And you pretty much can intuit where I'm at when I'm doing them. Like, if I'm talking about a Monday and I end up saying, thank you for visiting Sunday, you'll figure it out. Okay. Let me check and see how you guys are doing. And then, yeah, so if you have a Mars in Libra, then let's go through what it means when Mars changes signs. Because we've got, you guys, we have some things that are pretty extraordinary happening. We do have a total eclipse coming up in September. That's only a couple of weeks away. I mean, 3 weeks probably, but I mean, it's crazy. So we do have some things happening. Venus is meeting up with Jupiter. That should be extraordinary. That's a good day to put in your books as a day to manifest. It's a Cinderella aspect. I'll go over that with you. We'll actually move the chart here so we can see it a little clearer on what day's happening. But let's take a look now. I'm going to bring the chart in full screen. And we're going to look at its motion as Mars moves into Libra. So I can talk to you about how it might be affecting you specifically, okay? All right, so I'll make sure it's centered. And then let's move the wheel. I'm going to change up here, go to move it a day forward for a day. And as we move it forward to a day, we see tomorrow it's at 29 Virgo. We're looking at this planet here. And it looks like the male symbol, if you're just listening, it's at 29 Virgo. That's 29 is the most powerful degree you can have. Okay, it's not powerful it's not always a good thing to be powerful. It can be overwhelming. If you have 29 degrees of something in your chart, that energy, you have all of the support of the entire sign. Like there's only 29 degrees in a sign, 60 minutes. So if you're at 29, all that energy of the sign is with you. And sometimes you can use that energy to be overwhelming. Not necessarily you, but that part of you can be overbearing. And I'm sure people have told you that. Mars is going to be there in Virgo. Mars can be extremely critical. Mars can be extremely fussy about what it wants, what it sees, the details that it's asking for. And while it's here in Virgo, it is also exactly opposite Saturn and Neptune. That means that there's also an external force pushing on this Mars, and they're cooperating together, but you have the 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot in La La Land. That's Neptune. And who knows how that's going to affect you. But I'm going to give you at least some direction of where to look for when it does affect you and when it does hit you, because that's coming. And whatever house this is for you, if you can figure out your houses, it's one of the best things you could do in astrology. If you could just get your chart and look on the outside of the wheel, and you get this technique, like this is just a marker. This little sign here says Libra. This is 5 degrees of Libra. It's telling me that the boundary between the first and second house starts at 5 Libra. So going counterclockwise, the next little notch in here is 6 Libra, then 7 Libra, then 8 Libra. And if I went clockwise, it would be 4 Libra, 3 Libra. That's how it works. That's why this Mars at 29 Virgo is in this house. As it moves forward, it's going to eventually strum this chord and enter the second house. You don't have to be overwhelmed by the information. You just have to know if you have any sense of where it lands in your chart. That's really helpful. So there's a push-pull. Now, some of you are feeling a push-pull right now, this very minute. Hey, Renee, welcome. Some of you are feeling a push-pull. And what's push-pull mean? Well, on one hand, you want to do this, but on the other hand, this is in the way, okay? So, like to say another way, the external forces, okay, things from the outside are kind of coming in on us. And so you might want to, like a small example, I wanted to get my room set up so that I could get the best lighting I could possibly get, so I could be more comfortable, so I could not have to, keep bouncing back and forth on things that I might want or need or whatever. It's just I wanted the room to be perfect. And in the middle of doing that, our water pressure was weird. And I called the water department. By the way, if your water pressure is low, and John had mentioned to me, like, the water pressure I've never seen it this bad. And I'm like, you get used to stuff over time. And I was like, ooh, it is. So I called the water department, not a plumber. The water department, they go, sure, we'll come out. They came out. Well, that was the day when I'm getting ready to rearrange all this. The dogs are going crazy. I forgot the water guy's coming. Well, he comes, and do you know he fixed it? He's like, I have one of these things that you need left in the truck. I'm going to give it to you, and we're putting it all 100% free, no tip. He wouldn't take anything, and our water pressure is like to die for, free. Now that's amazing. Nobody ever says thanks Mercury retrograde for that kind of stuff, do they? They all But yeah, that was pretty amazing because he goes, I don't know if I have this part. It's one of the ones we've been ordering. We're behind. And he found it in his truck. He goes, I found it. And so I had it. You get the very last one. So he put it in. But guess what happened to my day of rearranging? To hell. Because he needed a space cleared out for himself to do that, and then it's putting it all back together. It's managing the dogs, and before you know it, it's time to feed them, and then it's time to eat. Oh my gosh, the rituals just go on and on. It made me think about wondering what I did with time before that moment. Like, oh my gosh, where is it going? So anyway, that's my point. That's what a Mars-Saturn opposition looks like, and water is Neptune. Okay, Neptune can deal with your plumbing. Like the Saturn is the pipes and Neptune is the water flowing through them. So you could, and then here's Mars, like Mars and Virgo going, something's not right. Something isn't perfect. And we resolve it. Okay, we come together. Oppositions are very important. They're good. Oppositions are compatible elements. So you want things to be opposition rather than, well, I think they're all good. Squares are good too. That just means that there's a lot more energy in a square and usually requires a lot more energy to push through it. So in an opposition, we have an external force and an internal force, and you never know which one you're going to be acting as because you'll be one of them. Now, let's move Mars forward to Wednesday. And now we're on Wednesday. It's at 46 minutes 29, and I am going to change this to moving it by the hour. And then if we move it by the hour, we're seeing it slowly but surely. I'll magnify this for you. It is in Libra, 0 degrees Libra, and that is about 5 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. I told you it was exactly 4:23 p.m. So Mars is going to go into Libra on Wednesday, 0 degrees. Look at these guys. This is 1 degree of Aries, 1 degree of Aries. That's opposite exactly. And Pluto is 2 degrees of Aquarius. That's an air sign. So that's pretty much connected. So 0, 2, and 1. All that means is Mars is going to be closely related to Pluto, and it's going to be closely related to Saturn and Neptune, and it's going to be in the sign of Libra. What the heck does that mean? And look at this, 1 degree of Gemini over here. So we've got a grand trine in air with Mars, Uranus, and Pluto. And let me tell you something, for those to cooperate, I almost want to say, thank God they're cooperating, because those are some of the most destructive planets when they want to be. They like Mars, you know what I mean? Uranus destroys things. Pluto transforms things. Mars fights things, and they're getting along, all three of them. And they're getting along so well that if you focus this energy of things you want to radically transform, especially the way you're looking at a situation or the way you understand a situation, this is the time to do it. If you're trying to talk to somebody, if you're trying to break open communication, you cannot possibly lose if you have this kind of focus on your team. And you got to be careful because it's intense, but it's also an amazing flow. It's really good for us to get into the path of understanding, a kind of enlightenment, a kind of like, wow, I think I get that kind of energy. Now, let me see how y'all are doing. When will I marry in Afa Sonowen? I don't know what that means. When I marry, it's current feeling for Alfia. Okay, you guys, I have no idea. Appia, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's probably, if you're using language I don't get, I don't know. But either way, marriage is going to be the question now that you're asking, because Mars is in Libra. Our relationships are going to take a major focus. And I think weddings are going to skyrocket. I do. I also think if you have something that you want, like if there's somebody you want to marry, Robini, if there's somebody you want to marry, this is a time you should probably make your intentions known, because this is pretty powerful marriage stuff. Not only do you have Mars in this beautiful aspect to Uranus and Pluto, you have Venus, the planet of love, with Jupiter. So this is like a beautiful, beautiful. Oh, that's the name. Okay, so sweetheart, yes. Depending on your chart, what sign you are, this is incredible time to make the plans for marriage. This is an incredible time. Hi. Okay. It's so welcome to the room. So great to have you. And thank you for explaining. I'm so happy to have you from India. Yes, this, depending on your sign, this will be an amazing time to at least get the plan together and start making the plan, because this could very well be what your wish is. Make your wish, really hold that intention. This is called the Cinderella aspect, this Jupiter and Venus thing. So you guys have such a good opportunity. Morning, Mark. So happy to be here today. Healing from COVID for the third time. Nadine, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're healing. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. Okay, so, but this is a great cycle, you guys. We're healed. Like, Mars in Virgo is about illness too. You all get that? Mars in Virgo is about healing the body and really getting to the root of things. So this is like the time. Clear it all out. Mercury is still retrograde. Let's give you the exact date when Mercury goes direct, because I know so many of you love that. I don't mind. I love Mercury. I really do. I love it retrograde. And so it looks like the 11th. It looks like on the 11th. Let's move our little magic wheel forward to the 11th and see if Mercury does actually indeed go forward on that day. Let's see. Yep, it's definitely there. Now let me see here. On the 10th, let me do it by the hour and see when we can nail it. I'm looking. You don't have to pay attention to this. There, it went. All right, so it looks like, oh my gosh, on the morning, like midnight, August 11th, Mercury is going to no longer be retrograde. And that means that you should already be feeling the positive effects of Mercury moving forward. That's the most important thing too. You should be feeling being able to look ahead, be able to make your plans. Don't make it the enemy that it's told it is. And look what happens on the day it goes direct. This is extraordinary. Venus and Jupiter will be identical. So that's on the 11th. They'll be conjunct. Boy, great day to hook up with anything you want. That's a gorgeous day. Let me tell you what the Magi astrologers say about that. And this is the 11th. So what is today? So that's, we're going to have a show on that day. That's Monday the 11th. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay. Why did you go off? I probably hit something. There it is. There you are. Okay, thank you. So if I look up Venus, and I'm showing you my book. Hold on. This is the book that I use. Magi Astrology, Key to Success in Love and Money. Now, when Venus and Jupiter come together, this is what it says. Extremely good time to try to make amends for past wrongdoings in a relationship and ironing out differences. This is a good aspect. Time to ask for understanding and forgiveness, or to convince someone of something that is true and fair. The truth is easier to see during this aspect. This is a very good aspect for weddings and engenders loyalty and honesty in the marriage. For these reasons, this is also an excellent time to begin a romance that will eventually lead to marriage. Okay, Rohini, I hope you're listening. Okay, and then also for money, very helpful in a business related to beauty, such as fashion and makeup industry. A good day for starting anything where integrity and loyalty are of utmost importance, such as a law firm or a bank. So it's about trust and honesty and loyalty, manifestation, love. That's on the 11th. We're going to be here next week to talk about it. So in the meantime, let's come back home and talk about today a little more, and then see how the week is unfolding for you guys. Now, we know that's the Mercury retrograde. A week from today, it'll be over. So those of you that hold that as like a terrible time and want relief from the retrograde, next week, you have this week to get through. Now, we have, this is my other sheet that I use. See, my notes are, look at that void of course on Tuesday. It's only a few hours long, but then on Wednesday, it goes void of course at 10 a.m. for 31 hours. This is going to be a fun week. It's a week of unhooking. And, if you're going to have a void of course moon, let it be in Capricorn. Let that moon unhook in the heavier sign of Capricorn, for real, because that could be so much easier to go through. And I think it sort of lightens up the load. Because this is a week of change, and because Capricorn moon is going to be in the space starting tomorrow morning, I need you guys to really understand that you are building toward a full moon and that things get chaotic, like a pimple popping. It starts to erupt. And so things can start feeling a little more intense. They can start feeling like they're more life and death than normal. They could start feeling a lot more emotional. And it's really important for you to ride this through in a very clear and responsible way, because you are going to be so hooked up. And there's two ways to get hooked up this week. One, have light a fire of inspiration and spread it, because this grand trine in fire, that is okay. And I think of more like a God energy, like a gratitude energy. If you pull in that energy, it has way more impact and way more power when the planets are aligned and showing us that it's there for us. So what I did today on my walk, I want everyone to do something similar. I walked, and as I started thinking about what I was grateful for, I didn't do details. Don't do details. I went to grab what I was grateful for. And in that moment, as I started thinking about the things that I love so much and how lucky my life has been for me in the certain moments, I don't think about the unluck. I don't think about the hurt. I don't think about betrayal. I don't think about any of that. I thought about the moment where there was a little light for me to walk, and I grabbed it. I didn't add stories to it. I just started like that moment where you're attempting to go toward the light of gratitude. That moment right there, right before it lands into a specific detail, you grab it and bring it in. Oh my gosh. And you let that thing grow. That's what a grand trine in fire is. Then you spread that. Next time you talk to somebody, next time somebody needs a little of that light you took, you spread it. Like that's what fire does, right? Fire is contagious and it transforms everything it touches. That's the gift of the element of fire. That's what we're in right now with this grand trine, with the moon in Sag, the sun in Leo, Saturn and Neptune in Aries. These are the fire energies that are so important for us to utilize. Then Wednesday, Mars does its grand trine. And the grand trine of Mars is wisdom. It's understanding and seeing the interconnection between all people, things, places. It's understanding that there's perfection at hand. And I know that sounds more inspirational, but understanding is the key here. You understand that some people are just locked into a certain way. You understand that beauty is relative. You understand that your attractions are subjective. That understanding is so amazing. You understand that you have moods. They don't want you to do anything with them except have them. You know my favorite phrase, your feelings just want you to feel them. Your thoughts just want you to think them. No one is asking you to take action. Nothing is requiring you to move beyond the experience of having the experience. This is what it feels like, right? Where you tell yourself, this is what it feels like. This is what the lowest point of the roller coaster looks like. This is me looking out of the window of the low point. And then this is me at the high point. Again, me looking out the window at the high point of my life. None of them mean anything. No action is required. It's just the observation of what feelings come with that. These are the feelings that are associated with feeling blue, feeling down, feeling depressed. This is what it feels like. My breathing gets shallow. My stomach tightens up. My neck hurts. Having that ability to organize and to observe what's happening to you while it's happening is a guarantee that the observer in us is keeping an arm's distance from all the actual identifying with some of the yuck that goes on in our lives. And the observer is our hero. The observer has no judgment. The observer goes, this is what I'm feeling. The observer isn't going, this is me. This feeling is you. Like, I suck. This sucks. This feeling sucks. Therefore, I suck. That isn't true. I have a part of me that doesn't feel really good right now. It dampens everything. You know, when our babies get sick, and I know for those of you that have children, probably it's very similar. But for me, when my little babies get sick, like Duncan had his eye half open yesterday, and I was like worried wreck. It's fine today. But all day long, that's a little thing in there. Like, that's a little thing. And then at what point do I pull the trigger and go to the vet? At what point do I, oh God, that phrase, pull the trigger. Sorry for any imagery that brought up other than love. But at what point do I pick up the phone and call the vet and say, hey? And so we waited. Oh my gosh, he's perfect today. And I'm so grateful. But the burden that little things bring to us, not little things meaning dogs, but the littlest thing can ripple in our water of peace and tranquility and make it disrupted. And those are the things you get to observe. Like, that's how it does. And I remember yesterday saying, you know, the littlest thing throws off the balance. And literally, John said to me, then your job is to make sure that you're not out of balance with it. Just, okay. And I'm like, you're right. Exactly. It's like, okay. Like, that's a thing. And we took care of it. And it helps. It really does for me. That's what we're dealing with this week. This energy of not having Earth, I can't emphasize it enough. Starting Wednesday, no Earth in the sky. So I want you to particularly pay attention this week to what it means for you when you're feeling afloat. Okay, when you're feeling like, ooh. Now, we are going to have this Capricorn moon, but even that goes through one of the longest void of course moons. And let me explain the void of course moon for those of you who are like, I don't like that word. What's it mean? So in astrology, I'll bring the chart up. This isn't a big deal. This is kind of like, that you won't get confused on this. And if you do, who cares? It doesn't matter. As long as you know the phrase and what to do with it, you don't need to know the why. But look at this. See this moon? It's at 13. And if I look around the chart, I see that there's an 18 there. So at some point, that moon's going to be connected to the node here at 18. So when it gets to 18, there'll be what's called a square. They'll be connected. And here the sun is at 12. This is 12 and 13. And here, like, what else we got? Chiron's at 27. I don't even think they count Chiron. Oh, there's the Mars is at 28. So when the moon goes to 28, it'll hit Mars. There's going to be a point where this moon's getting ready to go into Capricorn, and it's already hit 28 degrees of Virgo. Like, it hit 28 degrees of Sag, so that makes it a square to Mars. Don't worry about the details. I know that when I hear myself say it, I'm going, oh, no one's going to get this. But it had a connection to Mars. Okay, that's all I'm saying. After that connection is made, it has no connection with any other planet. None. There's 28's the latest. There's nothing is going to connect, and it's going to go into Capricorn. In Capricorn, there's no other Earth. And basically, once it hits a certain momentum, it's not going to be related to any of these planets. It will be without a connection to any planet. It's called void of course. Just know the math. We're doing it for you. There's no connection with any planet starting at 10 a.m. on Wednesday for the moon for 36 hours. It goes until Thursday night. There'll be no connection the moon's going to make to any other planet. That's called void of course. It just means it's without a connection, and it becomes an isolated moon. And that means we could be particularly a powerful moon for us. It could be way more emotional, way more needy, way more whatever, who knows? But there's nothing to anchor it in. And we all will react differently to that moon. And so that's why we talk about it like, what do you think? So we always say, because that moon has no hook, try not to buy things during that time. But yeah, good luck. Because sometimes you end up taking them back, right? And so that's all. It's just one of those things where we want to pay attention to it. I don't think everybody gets affected by a void of course moon. I don't. I'm a lunar person. I'm Cancer, so I'm ruled by the moon. So it does affect me, but I've noticed I'm pretty lucky under them, which is interesting. So I have something I can do during them. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let me check on you guys. I'll answer any questions. Rohini, you're welcome. You seem like a very kind person. Thank you for joining the room. You're right in good company. Cosmic MC, things are just intense for this Cancer. I'm calling in my soulmate double manifesting at August 21, September 21st with this new moon cycle. Good, good, good. Intense is okay. It's just that how we deal with the intensity, that's the big thing. Look, all this Mars, Pluto, and Uranus, those are about as intense planets as you get. You're not going to feel, it's not going to be light if you're sensitive to them. Duran's in the house. Venus and Jupiter kissing. Yay! Feeling waves. Thank you. Thank you, Duran. You're so kind. Hi, Shelley. I'm kind of liking these void of course moons. Yes, right? It's VOID, void of course. And I mean, I'm learning to kind of enjoy them too, especially when they're in signs that I typically dread. But it's been magical to see this, I don't know, to see them come and go and me go, wait a minute, did I win a void of course moon like that? It's like, ooh, this is fun. Kay's in the house. Hi, Kay. Merlin Scopes. Kay does Merlin Scopes. Thank you, Kay. This is my Leo shirt. Barbara Armstrong. Hey, Mark. Thanks so much. Happy Monday. Thank you, Barbara. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. Carolyn Ferris is in the house. You guys are funny. I love it. Thank you for liking the shirt. I love that. Blossom says, what should Capricorns do this week? What do you think the void of course moon is an internal feminine space? Well, I mean, hi, Carla. Internal feminine. The moon is typically the feminine aspect, but we have to really define that word because feminine is the more aggressive. Like the moon is the intense part of us. So in a more internal, like the moon needs need to be met. When it's void of course, how are we getting those needs met? And maybe that's what drives us a little more internal. So it could be that, but it also could drive us a little more like confused. Like I'm not feeling comfortable, or that's why we buy things under them because I need a need met. I don't know. We have to see. Now, if you're a Capricorn, and I'll say this again so you all have more sense of this, Capricorn, Tauruses, Virgos. Once Mars leaves Virgo, you are the representation of Earth. You are what is going to keep us completely sane. And I have a feeling, first of all, I know that's not your job, but I have a feeling you should pay attention to how your friends are being with you. Just pay attention, see if my theory's right. Number two, how are you going to be? Well, if you're the only Earth, you naturally ground in. You don't have to obsess. There's going to be, watch the people around us. You guys, when Mars leaves Virgo, I am going to be so curious to see if you don't start getting a little more neurotic about your ritual or your routine or your food. I mean, just see if it's possible, because what we are trying to do in that case is get control over the physical environment. That's what Earth does for us. It gives us control over the physical environment. If it's not there, we make it up. Okay? We start doing our rituals, which is a great thing to do. Who cares? I'm not complaining, all right? But if you're an Earth sign, people might look to you, not knowing that they're getting that and not knowing why they're looking to you. But see if you're not being leaned into just a little more. That's all. I'm just suggesting it. Like for those of us that don't have Earth in our chart, it might feel good to have Earth signs around. I know John has a Capricorn moon. I rely heavy on that moon. I know the times when I'm ungrounded, I'll be like, where are you? And his calmness and his anchor is like, okay, thank you. That's all I needed. I'm back. And I know he thinks I'm a nut, but that's all I need. I mean, whatever. Which pages were you reading in the Magi book? I have the book to follow. Yay! That's so cool. Okay, I'll tell you. I was reading page... Hold on. Here it is. 310 and 311. Read Electional Matters of Love Enhancement, Electional Matters of Money Enhancement. Woohoo! I love that you can follow. Blossom, that makes a lot of sense. I'm everyone's cook, nurse, therapist, and lawyer. It really does make, isn't that great? I hope we can hire you out. I get it. No, I get it. And that's funny because John has been so, like, he discovered DoorDash because where we live, that stuff never existed before. So he's like, what do you want tonight? It's so cute. It's so sweet. God bless him. But Earth, man. And it's that earthy moon. Okay. Do you think $75 too much to pay for the Magi book? Yes. Carla, don't pay that. Don't pay that. Don't pay that. Don't pay that. It will come down. It will come down. You'll see it recycle. Hay House just refused to reprint it. He just, Reed Tracy hates astrology. And so he had this book printed. And when I told him I loved it, he goes, you loved it? I went, yeah, why? They said they're coming out with a second one. He said, not with us. Like he just, whatever. Whatever. No point disparaging people. But yeah, you'll find it cheap. You'll find it. You can find it for $20. Don't pay 75. Don't pay 75. Okay. Great to know exactly what void of course moon is. I never knew that even though I've been aware of them. Oh, okay. Did that even make sense? Esther, what crystal are you wearing around your neck? This is Peter's site. It's like 20 years old now. And Peter's site, Peitersite, I believe. I adore it. It looks a little like labradorite, but it has been aground for me forever. And this chain is so like old that I can't find a replacement. I don't even think it unhooks. So yeah, thank you for noticing. Sometimes I do feel like a moody sorceress. Blossom says, sometimes I feel like a moody sorceress. You know what? You probably are a moody sorceress. I'm a moody sorceress, and I don't even get why people say you're moody. I can feel it, though. I'm looking at, you know how you know if you're moody? You're looking at the world, and it's like, as opposed to looking at the world and going, And you know those days where you're looking at the world with that happy it's sort of like, that's like you're probably in a good mood. And when you're looking at the world through, and sometimes on my walks is when I notice it. My mind's a little paying attention to stuff it shouldn't be paying attention to. Like, I don't want to run into anybody today. Or, like, why would you say that? Why? What are you thinking? And I get it. I mean, it's a sentiment I hold all the time. But on a particular morning, you can tell that you're looking at the window of life through a different lens. This is why I grab the gratitude moment. It's not grateful for things and naming things, because that whole thing about you're going to forget something or forget somebody, and I hate all that. Okay, that's why we don't do birthday celebrations in my groups like at work, because somebody's going to be forgotten. That's all there is to it. So what you do, you don't grab a gratitude specific. You grab a gratitude energy. The energy as like the energy that brings you to the point of grabbing for gratitude. That's what you grab. Okay. I know that makes sense. I do. I know it makes sense. And that's what we do. Don't do a list, because there's a hidden guilt in that too. Like, oh, I never thought about Don't do it. Don't get stuck. Blossom says, I heal with attitude. I love that. You have attitude. I can feel it. Hey, is that Sahar? I think that's Sahar. Oh, no, it's Tina. Hi, T. Welcome. So you guys, yeah, and the minute things that we're doing, the 3-minute things, please find those. If you guys are doing a 3-minute video and need subscribers, I would appreciate it if you guys subscribe to our friends. Hi, T. Thanks for coming in. So you guys, remember this week, let's summarize because we're getting close to the moment. And Kat Nicholson is up. Psychic Kat is after me. And she is getting close to doing her debut with YouTube. And she will be on YouTube audio. let's review real quick. Wednesday, Mars goes into Libra. It's a grand trine in air. So between now and Wednesday, it is about inspiration and gratitude and revving up that fiery energy inside. Then it goes into a grand trine in air, and that is about understanding and clarity and diplomacy and seeing life with a higher octave than the Virgo vacuum cleaner. Like, we want to bring that energy up a little bit. And that happens Wednesday, like Wednesday afternoon. And then we have a full moon Saturday. I didn't even talk about the full moon in Aquarius, part of the air grand trine. So you're already prepared for the full moon. Okay, the sun will be in Leo. The moon will be in Aquarius. We look at the world more globally in that way. We have the eagle's perspective finally under that full moon. And then the minute it hits on Saturday at 11:50 at night. Wait a minute. No, it's not. It's at 12:55 in the morning. So it hits first thing Saturday morning. Right after that, the moon starts losing light and you start releasing, start letting go of your guilt, start letting go of your pain, your obstacles, your judgments, your criticisms, especially of yourself. Release them, release them, release them. It's a time of release. Release your obstacles to the beautiful life that you deserve. You guys, what a joy it was to be with you today. Thank you so much for sharing and making me feel like that there's actually people to talk to. It's very kind of you. Begum, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but thank you all so much for coming. Big hugs to everybody. Stay tuned for Psychic Cat coming up. I will be here next week to talk about what happened after that full moon and the other beautiful things that are happening in the sky. All right, this is Mark Husson signing out. Thank you so much, you guys.